up to this point, getting ready to transition into game week, and just guys have put a good body of work in, and we're just not done getting better. We've taken some steps in the right direction, no question about it. But we understand and are very real about the work that needs to continue to be put in as we approach not just Oklahoma this week, but the rest of the season. So preparing to really get our mindsets prepared for the duration of the season. I think our kids are on the right track right now, and there's still a lot of work to be done. What I'm not going to do today is announce a starting quarterback. I have a great competitive situation going on in that room right now, and I don't want to lose that edge. It's an iron sharpens iron mindset, and everybody in that room is getting better. There's a clear 1, 2, and 3. Okay. That being said, I'm just going to probably make that decision game day. Our guys are getting better because of the competition in the room, and there's a lot of admiral respect that they have for one another. That I just want to keep that going. So that's where we are with that. That being said, guys, I would not look too deep into the depth chart, especially on offense. We're very, very talented at the skill positions. I foresee those guys playing. We're going to play into their strengths. Depending on the situation, the style of play that we're looking that's going to be successful for us on offense will determine who's in the game. But you're going to see those receivers play. You're going to see that depth chart, that running back play a lot of football, and that tight end position as well. Again, very, very competitive amongst the group, and it's a positive thing going on that way as we approach our game situations, and I want to keep that going. Took my time with the single digits. Obviously, we did announce those single digits last week. They are carrying the flag and the culture of our program for sure. It was very important for us not to do that in a fast manner. I just wanted to make sure that we did it in the right manner, to show respect for the legacy that was here long before we got in here, make sure that our players understood and respect that legacy. So it came at the right time, and I thought our players did a phenomenal job of picking the leaders of this football team this year. I couldn't disagree with them at all with the decisions that they made in that respect. Okay, so that being said, what questions do you guys have for me?
Coach, you mentioned the depth chart on offense, not to look too deep in it. What about the depth chart on defense? Do you feel like you have the 11 guys that you want on the field, and how deep does that roster go?
I would say the one guy that we are solidified on is DJ Woodbury. He's going to be the guy calling it out there for us on defense. Voted a single digit for a reason. He has been very, very intentional in his development from the winter all the way up to this point. That piece you can kind of write in stone. The defensive line is going to be a committee of guys you're going to see. All right, and I think that plays into our advantage as we go through the whole entire season, is being able to play, not just a set of 4 guys, but a set of maybe 4 to 8 guys that come in and keep that position fresh during the course of the game. And on the back end, again, very, very talented, very similar to the offensive skill positions, with the exception of AK. Okay, Andreas Keaton is going to be our starting safety, and at that point, everyone else is really we're in really good shape. In terms of who's out there, we don't really lose a whole lot. There's going to be times where certain guys are going to be asked to play more on special teams, right? That may have an effect on how much they play on defense. It's about putting the best 11 on 3 phases, and to be your best on special teams, you're going to pull from some of your best on the offense and defensive skill positions. So a lot of that will play into that.
So could you just clarify it? I thought you said so you have a 1, 2, 3 in terms of quarterbacks, like repping in practice, but you'll determine the starter Friday?
Yeah, that's for us, not for y'all. Apologize.
Coach, can I ask you about the single digits? I noticed there's one missing. Is that going to be similar to last year where you had guys rotate every week? And is it earned, or how are you going to handle that?
Yeah, so we did leave one single digit available. It is the number 6. That number is available right now, and that will be rewarded on the guy who is, culturally sound, and the guy who is performing at a single digit level.
Maybe I'll ask it a different way. So you've determined the starter.
We have
Or
a
you
1,
have
2, and a 3. We have our top 3 guys that are competing for that starting role.
Okay. So, and you, I don't know how you, I guess you're not gonna reveal how you're sort of repping them this week. 'Cause you
Right.
can't, I mean, it's hard to rep 3, certainly in a short
It
week.
is. We play into their strengths, and we're going to figure out who's ready to go.
Can I ask you a little bit about the run game? Obviously last year it was a different room, and this year you've got a lot more physical talent. It's a little more depth in that room. Is that going to be more heavily used in the playbook, or how do you plan to manage the pass versus the run game?
Yeah, the run game is extremely important to our success. You know, if we're not able to run the football, it's really putting us in a one-dimensional situation, which is not going to win a bunch of ball games. So we need to establish the run early and often. It's predicated on our offensive line, right? We have running backs that can get the yards that are blocked. We have running backs that can get the tough yards on contact, but it really starts up front for us, right? And their ability to stay engaged on blocks, strain to finish their blocks, and things of that sort, which I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and we're definitely trying to run the football a lot more effectively than we did a year ago.
Kind of going off of that with the offensive line, last year you guys had a lot of trouble maintaining consistency with offensive line starting.
Yeah.
How deep do you feel, you add a lot at the offensive line position, how deep do you feel like you guys are there, and do you feel like you'll be able to see a little bit more consistency?
I think we're deeper in terms of the quality of talent that we have, for sure. You know, a lot of last year was affected by way of injuries, right? And so we are a healthier unit, you know, and I feel as though we've done a great job of recruiting some quality depth. And yeah, we're not just taking 5 guys and saying those are the only 5 that are ready to play. We're going to take up to 8 or 9 of these guys on a trip with us, and all these guys are going to be game ready when the number is called. So I am excited and feeling a lot more comfortable about the quality of depth that we have at that position.
How about sort of you came into preseason camp with a lot of linebacker candidates. Do you have an idea, a feel for how many guys might play on Friday night?
Yeah, like I said, DJ Woodbury is a guy who has solidified his position, you know, but he's going to be backed up by TK, who is a quality football player. You have Stewart and Tyler Lapolo, both of which have done a great job up to this point. You know, so yeah, it's going to be a matter of who prepares the best this week, right? You know, this is how we keep the edge on our kids. You know, we don't just anoint starting positions and invite complacency into the program. We're not going to do that. These guys are going to fight and sharpen each other's tools to get each other ready to play. And whoever prepares the best and you know, embraces the game plan the best are the guys that have earned the right to start. You know, and in that we allow ourselves to learn about the guys who may not be labeled as a starter, but the backup role guys will know how much they can handle on their plate because of the way we prepare. You know, so yeah, I would be ready to see, you know, 4 linebackers to 5 linebackers playing this game this week.
Tell me about Latrell, a guy that came here like 2-3 months ago and now already a single digit. Just what have you seen from him as a leader and on and off the field?
You know, unbelievable. You know, I don't think there's ever been a guy anointed, you know, a single digit in that short period of time. We're in different times now. The climate is way different. So a lot of that is credit to our players who are already on the roster, who embraced Latrell and told Latrell about the culture that we're building here in Temple. And what Latrell did was he ate that. He took that hook and sinker and immersed himself into the culture, and not selflessly with intent of trying to become a single digit or anything like that, but selflessly is just doing his part and trying to become a part of this football team. And in the process of that, his natural leadership came out, and our players recognized that. You know, their locker room downstairs is their locker room, right? So there's things behind closed doors that he is obviously doing something right. The amount of votes prove that. He has done a lot right around here. And he's just been a guy that's been an example every single day of how to give the maximum effort to every single rep given out there. So he is definitely a really good example to follow. So I think they got it right.
And you mentioned you're transitioning into game week now. Are there keys in your mind that you guys need to focus on this week before going down to Oklahoma?
Yeah, there's one major key that we need to focus on going out to Oklahoma, and it's us. It's us. That's it. Everything else, you know, we can't control, but what we can control is what happens in this building, how we go about our preparation, okay, how we approach the game, our mindset leading up into the game. It's really all about us. We're not going to be able to control, you know, Oklahoma and their preparation. We're not going to be able to control their crowd or anything like that. So we invest ourselves into those things. That's not getting us ready to play. So we're going to lock in on us.
What, as far as Oklahoma though, you know, so it's a new coordinator, but he was there last year, a new quarterback, but he started the bowl game. Those two spots in particular.
Yeah, we feel as though, you know, that there's not going to be a huge departure of what they do structurally, defensively. It wasn't a whole lot broken with their defense last year. Seth Luttrell has done a phenomenal job of taking what they've done under the previous coordinator. We saw him blend that personality into that Arizona game and the bowl game. All right, obviously they may throw some wrinkles at us. We'll be prepared for the wrinkles to midstream adjust if we have to, but we're expecting a pretty solid front. We do know that the secondary has some very talented safeties that are returning starters, and they have a nickel that's also a returning starter, very, very athletic on the back end. You know, so I don't think with the talent that they have that there's going to be a huge departure of what we've seen on film thus far. But if it is, then we'll have to midstream adjust.
And Jackson Arnold, the quarterback who started the bowl game, that was his first start.
Yeah, good player, and that's who we're expecting to start. But again, they can be doing the same thing I'm doing. You know, somebody may show up and be that guy, but that was a very talented football player that we saw playing quarterback against Arizona. We expect him to be the guy.
What was the, you had extra coaches, right, able to sort of participate now on the field in preseason. What did that look like? What were those numbers like? What was the impact of that?
Yeah, so the NCAA ruling changing, allowing our analysts and our GAs to be able to coach on the football field. It's been phenomenal. Obviously, you got to make sure they can coach first, right? You know, the language has to be the same, and they have to be aligned to what those position coaches are telling those players. And you know, we made sure that that communication was going to be streamlined and everybody's saying the same things. We made sure of that in the off season. But no, it's a great opportunity for our young coaches to grow and learn how to coach as they strive to be full-time coaches one day. So it's been phenomenal to be able to get those extra hands and coaching points to our football players during the course of a practice or even in meetings.
How about one of the other new things is, I don't know, 18 tablets on the sideline, is it? How do you figure, who gets lucky with that? How do you distribute those?
Yeah, well, we know our position coaches are going to have them, right? You know, and those are things that we're going to work through. Is me being in the league is not a huge adjustment. All of our coaches are, have clear functionality to the iPads, but obviously the ones in the game day situations that are going to be critical to the eyes, that are, where their eyes are on the football field, and being able to transfer that onto an iPad and have the proper communication to the coordinators. At the end of the day, the coordinators can't hear a whole bunch of voices, so we're going to streamline what's being said over the headsets, but we will definitely pay attention to what people see. That the iPad does give us an opportunity to give a live shot picture to our football players, which is a luxury that we haven't had in the past, so we'll use it to our advantages for sure.
Coach, I talked to Antoine, and he mentioned a big reason he came here was your conversation where he talked about he's kind of a different type of back than you've been able to have here at Temple. Can you just speak to what you've seen from him over the spring and the summer, and how does he factor into the offense this year?
Yeah, so Antoine Litton, being a bigger back, but still has the speed of a smaller back. I mean, the one thing that I expect out of Antoine is play past contact. He brings us a body type that in short yardage situations and goal line situations should be advantageous to our success on offense. He has very good hands. I think we're running the style of play from a run game standpoint that fits his skill set. So he's definitely a great addition to that room for sure, and we're going to use his skill set to the fullest. But like anybody else, right? He's sharpening people's tools. His tools are getting sharpened, and I'm expecting him to have a great year. But there's still some things that all of them still need to continue to work on. So he's definitely of that mindset as well.
Coach, in the past, we talked about sometimes results aren't the only thing you're looking at development and stuff like that. It's fair to say, like, this year you're looking for results?
I'm always looking for results, right? You know, how you define results. You define them in the win-lose column, or you define them in the small victories along the way, right? For us, it's both. You know, obviously we have goals to be an American Conference Championship really soon here, you know, to get ourselves there. And to do that, you have to win ball games, right? You know, so that, you know, if you sit there and you focus on win, maybe you lose the details to the players on how to win, right? So there's going to be some small victories in the process of teaching our players how to win that they have got to achieve before they get the ultimate goal, which is to win the ball game. So yes, we are a very result-driven football team in all respects.
We got 3 receivers with a ton of experience in this offense, who I assume are going to be in that mix. Have a 4th and a 5th guy. All these new guys emerged in camp.
Yeah, so you're talking, you know, Ashton Allen, those guys. Yeah, those guys have had a phenomenal camp and have earned their value to the game plan, the thought process of how we game plan for sure. And you know, there's an opportunity when, you know, things get, we extend our drives, or we're taking shots down the field and guys are running, you know, 30 yards of play, where we can actually give that young man a blow in between series and still keep some fresh legs out there, you know. And that's what that depth brings to that room, is the luxury to be able to keep our legs fresh on the perimeter, you know. So they became very, very valuable for us as we go through our game plan each week.